Hey, Aries, Mel, intuitive coach here, excited to bring in your March 2025 love and family reading. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Aries, welcome. There is clarity and truth coming out for you in the month of March. Some of you may even be having a revelation. You're starting with the Six of Swords. So whatever this truth is, it is allowing you to move forward here in a new direction. Yeah, Nine of Swords. I feel like you are breaking out of anxiety here. You are determined. You are determined to move forward and not let sabotage get in the way. Maybe it's self-sabotage. It could be someone else sabotaging your mental health. All right. Maybe you are moving on with someone. We'll take a look here. Okay. Yeah. You're getting out of an old story. That is the revelation coming in for you. Bottom of the deck, the Magician. You're realizing here that you have all the tools that you need to alchemize a situation, to turn it into something else. And I feel like Gemini season is significant here for you. So May or June could be a really beautiful month for you. Now, of course, March is looking like you're moving on, but it just feels like you are really seeing things show up in the way that you've been wanting them to manifest. You're still working through that here in the next couple of months with that Magician. Yeah, because you have the Nine of Wands below that. So you have some loose ends to tie up. For some of you, you may even be, ending a situation with the Death card, or definitely going through a massive transformation in matters of the heart. Now, this could be romantic love. It can be self-love, love for your friends or your family, your children or parents. There may have even been a bereavement here that you are moving forward and not forgetting, of course, but you're moving forward up out of that energy that you felt very stuck in for quite some time. Some of you, there is a relationship that has ended or you are moving on from at this time. Some of you, there's no second chances, right? And I feel like it's you. You're the one saying, all right, no second chances here. You've grown and you've transformed. Now, there were a lot of wounds that may have come up around this dynamic, around your own self-confidence, triggers. For some of you, there were frustrations, egos, fears, and someone may have been very controlling, maybe very dominant as well. Aries, you may be leaving behind a situation that you needed to get out of, okay? You needed to get out of with that Six of Swords. It was a very bad or challenging situation for you. Ugly love is what we'll say. Now, you're moving towards a place where it feels a lot calmer. You're grounding your energy here. There's stability. This feels like security. Performance, growth, endurance is what this brings about. I see that you've been working on your mind. The mind is showing up here very heavily in your reading. And that is also why you have the sword and the rose, because the sword is about the mental mind, right? The swords are about decisions, power, thought, intellect. It's the ego. And you are determined here to move forward and not let this hold you back with the clock right behind it. It almost feels like the clock has been ticking down for some of you. Perhaps you've been counting down the days, or perhaps you've been wondering, when is time? When is this going to be over with in some way? But I do feel like you're moving towards a manifestation that you've been wanting to create here for you. Now, you are starting off with that Six of Swords. So I like the Six of Swords because it means, yes, we are moving on to calmer waters. We've gone through something here. We've gone through the Five of Swords, which could be someone may have taken advantage. Someone may have been very angry, manipulative. This is also, again, ego, battle of the egos. And it just feels like you don't want to partake in that. All right. You don't want to partake in it. Someone may have hurt you. And I feel like you're getting your head clear around a situation because in the past you may have had, the blindfold on, or you were unsure or uncertain, but I do see mental clarity coming in here for you. Now, crossing your path, you do have the 9 of Swords. So again, it feels like there's been a little bit of a nightmare that's been keeping you up at night. For some of you, you've been losing sleep over a situation due to a lot of anxiety. I am getting, for some of you, a small percentage of you, this has to do with your own children. Maybe you have adult children, or maybe you have a child that is going through some changes at this time. I feel like you could be very worried about them, because I have the Empress showing up here. For others of you, this has to do with maybe pregnancy, or it just feels like you weren't enough, or something wasn't enough here. You lacked confidence that something was going to grow. But the 9 of Swords in your challenge position says you have what it takes to step beyond your comfort zone and take a risk. And I see that's exactly what you're doing. So for those of you that have been stuck in a bit of a cycle, and it's been heavy, it's been challenging, or perhaps you felt like your love life was lacking in some way, I just see you're able to step out of this. 9s are completions. We're also in a 9-year, 2025. So there's been some journaling for some of you as well. I'm seeing the papers. You see the word love. You see the heart. Something burning. Oh, and wow, it says forever together, and it's burning. So it just feels like you may be burning the old stories in a way that held you back. And it feels like you're the phoenix rising here. Now, below you, this is the challenge. This is the maybe disowned part of yourself or a relationship. It's something to be aware of, is the Temperance. That may be why we see the clock here, because some of you felt like that clock was ticking down. Like, I want to have a family, or I want to get married. Perhaps you felt like something was taking too long, or you were in it for too long here. Sometimes the downside of the Temperance can be out of control, things feeling like they're not within your control, feeling a little bit crazy about things. It can be tempers, even a battle of the egos, or maybe tempers, or yelling, or even an overprotective energy. And for those of you that may have been nurturing, it feels like there could have been maybe mother wounds as well that have taken a long time to really work through, because they may have affected your relationship. Some of you may have had an avoidant attachment style. Some of you it was anxious. Yeah, because we had the 9 of Swords. Some of you, this is an ancient, well, maybe it's been going on for a long time, but anxious attachment style. If you're familiar with those styles, that could be worth looking into if you're resonating with this reading. But I am getting the timing factor. But you see that there's an angel on the refrigerator in the background. And this is the Temperance angel saying, trust, my beautiful one, in divine timing. You can't always see what goes on behind the scenes, but there is angelic protection and guidance here. You will never step into anything you cannot handle, okay? That you cannot handle here in this earthly plane. Now, in the past, what you are guided to release is that overthinking mentality. 4 of Swords. 4 of Swords can be obsession. It can be ignoring the signs of rest. Some of you, it can be working to the point where you become a workaholic, where you don't want to focus. You don't want to think on anything else because you need to put yourself into your work or cleaning, maybe even an OCD type of energy, because the mind is going a little crazy and that's the only thing you feel like you can do to maybe rest. But I see it's very important for you to meditate. It's important for you to slow down. Like I said, either journal, sit in a hot tub if you're able to rest, and maybe go towards a pool. I feel like you are putting something to rest here. You are releasing the constrictions of the mind, worrying about what someone is doing or how their path is going to end up, or if they're going to call back, or if you're ever going to come together, or if you're ever going to, marry again or have this family, or whatever it is that you have been contemplating. I feel like you're putting it to rest for a little while, and you're saying, I got to do this. I got to trust in the temperance. I got to trust in that angel that everything that is working out in my highest good. So what's above you here? This is what the potential is. This is what is easily attractable to you. You are very compassionate, Aries. You're a very kind individual. I feel like you would give the shirt off of your back. The Six of Pentacles is reciprocity. You want to put in the energy, but you also expect others to put in the energy as well, to meet you halfway, right? There's no I in team, whether this team be between you and a family member, or you and a cousin, or you and a lover. I mean, whoever this is, it can be any relationship that you have in your life. You expect there to be somewhat of a common exchange. Even if it is a smile from a complete stranger. Let's say you open the door at the gas station, right? And you hold it open for someone and do a kind gesture, and they say thank you and smile in return. That is a common exchange. And it feels like you've gone through an experience where something felt like it backfired, or it just didn't feel fair. You're like, I'm always the one that's holding the door open, or, feeling like I'm giving and giving and giving, but what's going on here? Am I not enough? And then you started questioning your own potential, and then you started getting in your own way, which we do sometimes. But what do you have coming in? What's coming in? Seven of Cups in reverse says you're getting focused. You're getting focused here instead of being distracted and scattered, instead of feeling like the mind is clouding your judgment. Okay, I feel like you're grounding. That's what you have here as one of your key themes. You may even be going on a bit of, a trip if you're able to, or just getting outside this month. I feel like you are taking the time that you need to enter into this cycle. But some of you, it is time, right? You've either progressed, you've got to this new place, or you are moving on, and it will take a little bit of time for you to adjust here, but you're manifesting something quite profound. Something very beautiful is what I see. And you're opening yourself up to love, right? There's 7 cups there on the 7 of Cups. And yeah, one of them's wearing a clown mask. In one cup is a heart, and one's a little puppy, and one there's money, right? One there's an engagement ring, and another one's a home. So I just feel like you're focusing on whatever priorities are at the top of your list at this time. Instead of feeling overwhelmed with things, you're saying, all right, I need to get grounded. I need to get my mind in order. I need to balance, calm these energies. And that's what you're doing, because you have the 8 of Swords right now. With that 8 of Swords and the 9 of Swords and the 6 of Swords, the only thing I don't see here is the 7 of Swords, and that may be what's hovering over your energy. Getting honest with yourself about what you need to do moving forward. It could also be someone else not being fully honest, and you're saying, all right, I'm stopping that. I am putting an end to the dishonesty here in some way. But the 8 of Swords showing up is about you having the strength and the courage and the bravery to not question your potential, your worth, and even your beautiful heart, and to accept that things happen for a reason here, and to learn and grow from some of the choices and the consequences that have been made. And remembering first and foremost that the only thing that you can control is how you respond or how you react to something. You can't control anyone else's actions. And I see you holding the key. She's behind those gates, but she has the key around her neck, which is hanging right there on that heart chakra. And there's the key. You're unlocking something deep within yourself. you may be attracting a relationship here that is based on reciprocity. And that's why something ended in the past for you, because you felt like you were made not enough. All right. Or it wasn't equal. You didn't feel compatible. Maybe some of you didn't have enough common interest to keep something going, but it just feels like there were a lot of frustrations trying to make something work. You may have over compromised yourself in some way, but it just feels like you're getting your bearings back. You're getting your footing back here. And in the environment, you have the Empress showing up. So even though the Empress is in reverse, she's still here because this is about you taking care of yourself. Yes, you may take care of others so often, but you can't pour from an empty cup. Remember what they say when you enter the airplane, make sure you put on your face mask first before you reach over and put it on your child or your partner or someone else, because it's important that you take care of you. I'm also hearing that saying, if mama's not happy, nobody's happy. So if you have children here, it's important, even if they're adult children, it's important for you to take care of you, because that is showing them how to take care of themselves, right? It's you focusing on what you need to do at this time. Now, there is a message around like pregnancy or child or birthing a new cycle into the world with this Empress. And for some of you, you're warming up again after maybe leaving behind a very controlling or very even possessive energy. I feel that way for some of you with the not enough card, or if you felt controlled, you felt like your own mind was controlling you and you're like, who am I? The Empress is saying, I know what I need to do now. I know that I need to focus on filling my cup. I know that I need to nurture myself, because when I am feeling my best, that's what I attract. I'm not going to go chasing. I'm not going to compromise who I am. I'm not going to stay cold. I am going to focus on my heart. And that's what you're doing here, regardless of relationship status, right? I see you focusing on you, because then that ripples out into bigger ways that allows you to raise your vibration and attract. And that's exactly what you're doing here, because we are constantly manifesting at any given moment based on our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions, right? And the magician has all of the tools. He has those thoughts. He has the beliefs. You know, he has the wand, the cup, the sword, and the pentacle. And when you realize that you have what it takes to jump into a new timeline, there's the clock, right? What are timelines? Basically choices, new cycles of our lives. The sky's the limit. You have infinite opportunities here. And in your hopes and fears, you have the High Priestess in reverse. You don't want to feel disconnected from your own intuition. And because the mind was taking over, some of you are like, what is my intuition telling me? I don't even know. My mind is going crazy. Am I supposed to, leave or stay or open up or trust? And it just feels like that's why the Empress is taking care of herself, eating better, trying to sleep better. For some of you, you may be backing off of working a little bit, taking a vacation if you're fortunate enough to this month, and really fostering those genuine connections that are based in reciprocity, right? Because that's what you have above you. This is what is easy to attract to your energy oftentimes, even though some of you are like, Mel, it hasn't been easy. If it was, I wouldn't have been through that experience. But you actually went through that experience to love more, love more. And it says that there. Some of you, there's a concert coming in, a music festival, camping. You may even go to like a blues fest or a farmer's market, something like that in the future. Because again, this is your potential position. It feels like you could meet someone there, or there may be a gift giving that comes in the near future. I mean, I really love this Six of Pentacles. It feels like it's a good, even exchange. You are having fun, you're enjoying yourself, and you're trusting yourself and your intuition. That's your hope. Your hope is that you don't want to keep silent, or you don't want to keep to yourself. Oh, for a small percentage of you, you are meant to speak up, speak out. All right. Like I don't know if it's a Me Too movement here, or if you're meant to share your story. Maybe you're writing a memoir, or this is going to help you connect to your own intuition by maybe speaking to a therapist, getting it off of your chest, maybe burning it, writing it down and burning it for some of you. All right, pomegranate. This is interesting because there is a card in this deck here. Let me just show it to you here. There is a pomegranate, and whenever the pomegranate comes up, it is challenging to say the least, because it's backstabbing. And what did I say about that seven of swords not showing up? So that could be the hovering energy. You have the pomegranate showing up with the high priestess. So for some of you, there's a fear of heartbreak and pain. There's a fear of separation and loss, deception and lies. Maybe there's been a shocking attack. Some of you, maybe physically, emotionally. Oh, I'm sending you big hugs. It feels like you are moving on from that situation, and I don't feel like you're looking back. Now, your outcome here is the Four of Cups. This is a turning point. This is a turning point where you are moving on from the past. You may have even felt a little bit impatient. There may have been stagnation. What happens when water sits too long? It starts to get all gross and green and full of, excuse me, full of nasty stuff. And it just feels like something started to fester. Something really started to fester, maybe on your mind or in a relationship dynamic here. And it became too much. And the Four of Cups, as your outcome says, there's a turning point here. There is a need to reach out. There is an energy here of getting it off of your chest. I mean, you are closing out a cycle, Aries, with the Nine of Swords. Nines are completions. I feel like the worst is behind you, whatever the worst may be. For some of you, yeah, you may even be widowed, or perhaps there was, a very difficult relationship that took you a lot of time to mend or work through here. But remember, bottom of the deck, this is what you are bringing to the surface. And that's why I feel like you do have a turning point. This Magician is showing up with the infinity symbol here. Remember I said you have infinite opportunities? Infinite opportunities to manifest the type of life that you really want. And in order to do so, you must get clear on what it is that you do want and focus your energy on that. Not focusing on what you do not have, not focusing on something of the past, not lack of. All right. You want to focus on what you want to attract. All right. Let's get a message here from the wisdom of the Oracle. What do we have here? Truth be told, you have 3 cards that just whipped out. I'm going to take a look at them, but we'll just read one. You have Fork in the Road and you have Milk and Honey. Honey, there's the Death card, card 13. You have a choice to make. Do you want to stay focused on the past? Do you want to stay trapped behind some sort of bars? Some of you may have even dealt with someone who may have went to jail, or they were incarcerated. All right. There's someone here that may have gotten into trouble with the law. You have the truth. The truth is coming out. Didn't I say that in the very beginning? You got the sword, some sort of, the sword, some sort of truth. And there it is. Truth be told, card 14. It's also the Temperance. We have the Temperance here. We have 13, which is that death energy. The Fork in the Road is saying, all right, it's time for a new direction. What direction are you going to go? Milk and honey. I told you. Card 51. Some of you may be 51 years old, born on the 13th or the 14th. We're going to read Truth Be Told because I feel like that's where you're at. And by Gemini season, this choice will have been made and you will be manifesting the rainbow. When does the rainbow come, Aries? After the storm, right? All right, 14. Maybe some of you have a 14-year-old child, or maybe you at the age of 14, there could have been some significant events that have taken place. Honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial. the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. And the relationship message is this. People tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open conversations. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experiences up until now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back. Speak your truth and listen. Listen, there's that high priestess. For some of you, this is the self. The Seven of Swords is denial, coming out of denial here. There's an aha moment for you coming in and you're listening. All right, that was a fear that you wouldn't be able to listen to that voice of intuition, but there's also a voice of reason. There's a message about facts are the facts. You know, people do tell you who they are, but sometimes we don't want to see it. Sometimes the mind plays tricks on us. I remember years ago where I had gone through a Seven of Swords moment, and right there in front of me, I was scrolling across social media and a picture came up, and my mind at that time could not see the individual that was in that picture. It was inconceivable. I seen everybody else and I just scrolled right past that because I didn't want to see it. And later on, I came across that picture again. And when I was ready to get honest with myself, I seen that there was someone in the picture that my mind had scanned over it. And it wasn't the environment that I had thought, right? We tell ourselves stories that sometimes the mind tries to protect us, or sometimes it goes back into that I don't want to see it mode. And that's what's happening here is you are seeing some sort of truth. And it's like your mind is catching up, your heart is catching up, like everything is catching up and saying, all right, I got you, inner child, or I got you, soul self. Let's move forward with our truth. So for some of you, what are you being dishonest about? Maybe with yourself or with others? If you're unhappy in any area of your life, look for signs of denial. This can also pertain to others being misleading or withholding or acting from hidden agendas. Now is the time to say no to honesty say no to dishonesty in all forms. Got ahead of myself here because we said that exactly with the death card. I said you are saying no to it, right? You're saying no, you're putting that up, you are moving on from it. Ask for the truth, even if you don't like what you hear. Acknowledging it will be key to a beautiful new future where you no longer labor under the heavy burdens that deceit and denial impose on you. Set yourself free. Nothing less than the truth is required now. All right, Aries, this is a big reading. For some of you, if this is resonating, I want you to know that you deserve a better life for yourself. And I see that you have the tools possible to make that happen. All right. Even if it feels like resources in some way are lacking, the magician shows up to remind you that you have everything you need within yourself, right? You have everything you need to manifest, a brand new path, a brand new beginning. And all of the signs here are pointing towards that milk and honey, that rainbow, the moving on, the manifesting of a turning point coming in here for you. All right. At this time, we are going to do a meditation here where we receive your crystal spirit. So at this time, if you can safely do so, Aries, please close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in from your solar plexus chakra, your belly area. Nice big inhale. Hold it as long as you can and release through the mouth with a nice deep sigh. And with your eyes still closed, Aries, I want you to focus on that third eye chakra and imagine the first crystal or gemstone that shows up in your mind's eye. Now your crystal could be small or large. Maybe it fits into the palm of your hand. It could be a specific color. Maybe it has clusters or points. It could be a tumbled stone, or maybe it's raw. It could have a hole in it. Whatever crystal is showing up in your mind's eye, and if you need a moment, just pause the video and come back when you are ready. And for those of you that would like to be entered into the free monthly reading giveaway, all you need to do is drop your crystal. If you know the name of it, great. Drop it in the comment section below. And for those of you that you don't know the name, but you saw the color, the shape, the size, maybe it was a piece of jewelry, whatever it was that you were seeing in your mind's eye, just drop that below. That'll be wonderful. That'll suffice. All right, let's get your crystals. You have blue chalcedony or chalcedony. I'm not sure if the H is silent here. You have the blue stone here, which is that throat chakra. Throat chakra is about communication, self-expression, and truth. You have moonstone, one of my personal favorites here. The moon energy, right? Truths exposed. So moonstone is also multifaceted. It has many different colors. There's different kinds of moonstone. There's a rainbow moonstone, which you can see here. Very, very beautiful. My rings are moonstone. So working with this energy can be beneficial for you this month. Working with the energy of any of these crystals. You also have moonstone to help you sleep. Excuse me. For those of you that are struggling sleeping, work with moonstone. Next, we have orange sapphire. This is your sacral chakra. So orange sapphire is coming in here. This is working with relationships with self. This can be a kundalini energy as well. And then lastly, we have jade. Beautiful green colors here of jade showing up for you, Aries. This is the heart chakra, the color green. This is love and forgiveness and opening yourself up to seeing love within you and all around you in the world. It can also be healing and mending to the heart. So jade is a super stone when it comes to that heart chakra. All right, last but not least here, let's get a message from your soul's truth. What do you need to know in matters of the heart? What do we have here? Do you know all of your strengths, and are you using them? Remember what I said earlier about focusing on, what you want in your life, right? Focusing on this direction. We all have superpowers, but it's up to us to uncover them. When we live and lead with our strengths, we are able to show up in our zone of genius. This inspires others to do the same. Maybe that is part of the whole movement I said earlier. This can be you, whether it is uncovering your own strengths, speaking up, living and leading with those strengths, because we do at times tend to fall back into our weaknesses, right? That's why I love the strength card, because we have the ability to overcome our shadows, to accept them, to work with them, to embrace them with tender love and care, and to know that we have strengths that can lead us forward. And I see you leading forward in your strengths this month. Ask yourself, how can I use one of my soul's gifts? And I said here, the Six of Pentacles is very admirable within you. It is something that others love in you, is your generosity. How can you use one of your soul's gifts today to contribute to this open and ready world? You're expanding your heart energy. I feel like you are moving on from situations that don't feel 100% honest or authentic. You are seeing the truth in all situations here. I feel like you're giving yourself more than enough love, whether you're female or male, right? This is you dropping into self-nurture, nurturing and caring for yourself, maybe even working on healing the inner child or embracing the inner child, having him or her come out for a little bit of fun and play and enjoyment in the month of March. We should do that every single month, but specifically March, it's calling here to you. That is what I have. Aries, if you resonate with the reading, please hit that thumbs up button. It certainly helps get the divine channeled messages out there to those that need it most. Feel free to drop your crystals in the comment section below, and be sure to hit that subscribe and bell button so you don't miss the winner notification on the 1st. Thank you again so much for tuning in, Aries. Lots of love.